Avast ye mateys.
Was that the intro?
It's Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
We're
The landlubber does not know what he's talking about.
It's
Booty.
a day after.
Huh?
It's a day after Talk Like a Pirate
Oh, what's
Day.
today?
Today's the 20th, dude. Yesterday
Oh,
was
yeah.
Yesterday was Talk Like a Pirate Day, you fool. Welcome to We're In It For The Money, episode 4. I'm Joe, and as with me always is Jack.
Jack.
And today we have Mike from Com Class. That's how you're going to be known. Say hello, Mike.
Howdy, y'all.
Ooh, serenade me with them golden pipes. But speaking of Talk Like a Pirate Day, today it's been a big week. Yesterday, Talk Like a Pirate Day. You get a free donut at Krispy Kreme, and apparently a free cookie at Insomnia Cookies.
That was for Talk Like a Pirate Day?
I think so. You just show up and say "Arr," and there was a line around the block.
Oh, Hard R Day.
What?
Hard R Day?
Hard R.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, but only followed by 3 more R's.
It's only okay if you say "R" ending with an A.
Like the sun god?
Yeah. I was doing some research on Talk Like a Pirate Day, and it came from Oregon, of course. It was the brainchild of John Burr and Mark Summers, and it resulted from an injury during a racquetball game where one of them reacted to the injury with "Arr!" And that was in 1995. And the anniversary of it was on June 6th, but out of respect for D-Day, they moved it to Summers' ex-wife's birthday, which I guess is September 19th.
Out of respect for D-Day and disrespect for Summer's ex-wife.
I don't know. It might have
As
been
it
his wife
should be.
then.
Yeah.
Disrespect to Summer's ex.
Yeah.
I really didn't believe your story until you said 1995.
You thought I was
like, that sounds right.
You thought
I
was
remember
BSing
that
it?
year.
Yeah.
Why would I go that much in depth into a lie about Talk Like a Pirate Day?
Dude, you've never experienced the fun of lying really in depth about something super trivial?
Well, he's not good at knowing when things are lies. I've tricked him into believing something that's not true every episode.
That's not true.
The other night, I convinced him that 5 minutes before 8 o'clock was not 7:55.
Dude, I was tired. I was a sleepy boy.
At 8 o'clock?
Shut up. I go to bed at like 2.
I'm about to tell Dr. Ward about that.
No, please.
Orson Welles didn't exist.
Yeah, there's
What?
We've been listening
Sorry.
to the no, it's okay. We've been listening to the World of Worlds broadcast in our comm class, and we're just coming up with all sorts of theories. Like, some kid in the back was like, "He doesn't exist."
It was made by the government, man.
So, as usual, well, Mike, welcome to the show. Prove yourself, and as always, we each have gone out and brought topics to discuss with the lads. So, who would like to go first?
Let's go left to right.
Left to right? Okay, Jack.
My left.
Oh. Okay, Jack.
Okay, let's go. I brought the story of one French man.
Oh.
His name, I never learned to pronounce.
Jean Valjean.
Franz Reichelt.
Franz Schelt.
Franz Reichelt? That's German. How do the French pronounce CH?
Can I see it?
Yeah, let us give us a look. Spell it out for us. Oh, so
my eyes are
Reichelt. Reichelt, maybe.
Reichelt?
Reichelt.
Well, it's got the word Reich in it.
I feel like I should skip the CH for French.
Okay.
Franz Reichelt was a French tailor named the Flying Tailor.
What?
I'll tell you why.
Oh,
He had a successful dressmaking business.
yes.
Wonderful.
As
And-
French tailors do.
He wanted to make a suit that would turn into a parachute to allow pilots to survive from Great
Oh,
Falls.
I know who this is. I know what this is.
He's going to end up being a clown, ain't he?
Huh?
Wow.
In one way or another.
Why do you go there?
So basically, it would.
Is that an?
That's what I think about clowns. They start as tailors,
They
they
s-
fail as tailors,
They
with
make
some
a
great
parachute
idea,
suit and they
and
turn
then-
to clownery.
and then they become John Wayne Gacy.
Bippity boppity boopity, you're John Wayne Stupidity. All right. It was a suit not much more bulky than one normally worn by a pilot,
Uh-huh.
but it had rods, silk, some rubber, so you can fly.
So like a 4th grade art project.
Yeah. He had some dummy flights with wings made of the material
Ooh,
from the 5th floor of a building.
You dummy flight. Sorry.
They were fine, but he couldn't convert it to a workable suit. He had a lot of unsuccessful dummy flights using the suit that didn't. They were unsuccessful, so they didn't work.
Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Thank you.
He also may. I'll come back to this later. He may have had some inconclusive Eiffel Tower flights.
Oh,
from dummies.
okay.
So who's to say if it'll work or not? So he thinks, hey, my name is Franz. Might as well jump off the Eiffel Tower wearing this. It was approved as an experiment because the Eiffel Tower would let people like do experiments because of it was so tall. So, like, yeah, we'll let this guy go up and throw some dummies off the Eiffel Tower. But he said, I'm gonna do a little switch. I'm gonna get in the suit and jump off the Eiffel Tower.
So it's still a dummy test.
Yeah. Up until he went up, everybody thought it was gonna be a dummy.
Until it started talking.
Yeah. So he went up the Eiffel Tower wearing his suit. He drove up with his two friends. He went up with.
Drove up the Eiffel Tower?
No, that is not what happened.
But did he like bicycle up there?
No, he walked.
I'm imagining like a
Did
bicycle.
he unicycle?
They all packed out of their very comically small car.
I'm imagining a bicycle with like X wheels so it could go upstairs.
Why? I'm trying to tell my story.
I'm sorry.
So he went upstairs to the the first platform of the Eiffel Tower with two of his friends and a cinematographer.
Ooh. I thought you were going to say like a cinnamon roll.
Which I'm guessing is where the suspicion started. Like, why do you need this guy to come up with you to record you throwing a dummy off?
Yeah, it's
I
like
get very
when
nervous
you're.
cameras are around.
It's like when you're a kid and your mom starts filming you for some reason. Like you know some shit's about to go down.
Or you walk in the room and somebody's filming and like, yeah, I'm either about to get punked or murdered. It's only
Well,
going
murder
one
is the
direction.
ultimate punk.
Ooh.
That's true.
Murder is the most conclusive social experiment.
Would that make suicide like the ultimate self-burn?
Let's
think
talk
so.
about suicide.
I
All right.
As I think,
Sorry.
I think in the direction we're heading, I think we are.
Yeah.
So no.
Okay.
So the higher up he went, his friends got a little worried. They're like, "Do you want a safety rope, like in case it doesn't work?" And he said, "Je vois changer l'expérience moi-même est ainsi car descend à bien travers la vie de mon invention."
Ooh. Translation.
Sexy.
Translation, please.
I don't have a translation.
Cigarette baguettes.
Retreat.
He's saying, "I want to try the experiment myself and without trickery."
That's my favorite word as of recently. Trickery.
Trickery?
He intended to prove the worth of his invention. Some
$3.
people said that 187 feet wasn't enough time for a parachute to deploy. And he said, "You're going to see how my 72 kilograms and my parachute will give you your arguments the most decisive of denials." So he walks up the stairs. There's people behind him watching. He's like, "See you soon," as he walks up the stairs. So he goes up with his two friends and the guy with the camera. There's video of this. He got to the top, put his foot up.
Live League?
It probably is.
What is
I don't know.
Live League? You
We'll
don't
talk
know
about
what
it
Live League
later.
is? Okay, after this, I will educate Mike from comm class
All right.
on what Live League is.
So he got to the top, foot on the guardrail, stopped for a solid 40 seconds, just thinking, hesitating.
You know, arms weak, knees heavy,
Preparing
whatever
to
the
embrace
lyrics
the
goes.
sweet arms of death.
Well, let's see. Okay, so he was described as calm and smiling before he jumped. Happy guy. Jumped off the first platform, 187 feet in the air.
Yeah.
His parachute only half opened and quickly foiled up around him. And he fell for a bit between hitting the ground. Now, here's the crazy thing. He died immediately.
Bro, you're not going to believe this.
I expected at least 3 hours in the hospital. You
Nope.
know? Wow.
He died, and then they took him to the hospital so they could say he was dead.
Dude, it's like one of those scenes in a movie where like someone falls out of a window and they just splatter all over the pavement, and like a doctor comes up and like checks their pulse. It's like she's dead.
Yeah. So they took his body away. A weird thing they did was they immediately measured the indent that he made into the ground.
Respect.
Yeah. I didn't get how deep it was. I'm guessing like 4 inches or something. Deep. That's all I got. He's died.
You know, when the bus pushed
4 inches of
Sterling
death.
into the earth, he wouldn't. I think Sterling would a little farther.
Bless up, Sterling.
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
Respect for Sterling, who
bless
again died.
To be clear, Sterling is dead and he will not be coming back.
Well, we can't say that. For
Well,
sure.
he might come back.
This is the afterlife after all. This is where the damned end up.
I always knew I'd go to hell.
Welcome.
No, it would be here.
Is that the end of your story?
Oh yeah. Well, every story ends with death.
Big facts. Big facts.
The Humpty Dumpty and other nursery rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you, Jack. Very
Jack.
good story. Mike, do you seriously not know what live leak is?
You could be speaking in Mandarin to me when you say that.
I thought you were fluent. But live leak is just YouTube's crack uncle, essentially, where it shows people dying. Like, that's where, oh, some woman got crushed in an elevator? You can find it on live leak.
You know, I'm a morbid son of a bitch, but I don't think I can dive with that.
Yeah.
You know, there's a line.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to do recreationally.
What, just watch people die?
Yeah.
I was subscribed
I
to
know.
r/watch people
You
die.
keep complaining
And
that
they're
it's not
"Tuck
around
it
anymore."
away from me.
Isn't that a little voyeuristic? Why not go out and kill people yourself?
Well, you see, the thing that's illegal.
But
Why can't I'm just gonna live vicariously through the internet?
hear me out here.
Okay.
Hear me out here.
Uh-huh.
What's more important, your desires or the law?
You know what? In that voice, I'm just gonna accept everything you say as fact.
Yes.
The law. Well, thank you, Jack.
Jack.
That guy is on every BuzzFeed list of
Really?
inventors killed by their own inventions.
It's a funny
lol.
one. As far as deaths go, I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah. Mike, would you like to go next, or do you want me to go next?
Oh, well, mine's sort of a brief little thing.
All right,
but,
why don't we just interject yours in the middle?
Yeah. So, don't know how familiar you are with exorcisms in the Catholic Church
Just
Oh,
keep
yeah.
talking,
or
please.
Colombia, but in Buena Vista, Colombia, which I am most certainly pronouncing wrong.
Buena Vista or Buena Vistra? Is there an R?
Buena Vista.
There's
Ah.
a neighborhood in Winston called Buena Vista, but you're supposed to pronounce it Buena Vista.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, that's miserable.
I
I took
know.
one semester of Spanish and decided it was terrible. Hate that language with passion.
I hate anyone who speaks it.
I want to take
I
it.
think that's a hate crime.
Huh?
I think it's a hate crime.
No,
You're
I think that's
Hispanic.
just a hate.
Oh.
There
that's true.
there are no crimes yet. You're allowed to
Yeah.
hate.
Let the record show Mike is Hispanic and he said it was okay.
If we elect some
This is true.
Democrat who's going to not let me
That's gonna
hate,
come back
then
and
no thank
kill
you.
me in 10
What?
years.
Because people think you're Hispanic?
No. I think this is like the audio version of wearing blackface.
Except you can cut out audio. You can't
Oh my
cut
God,
out
that's
blackface
true.
without
That's
severing
true.
the face. I guess there is soap.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, severing the face is a quick way. Anyway, so Colombia, Buena Vista. The Bishop of Buena Vista has decided to conduct a mass exorcism over the city by dumping holy water out from a helicopter.
Is he going to do it himself?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
I hope so.
Is it-
I'm going to be disappointed if he doesn't, like, parachute down. Maybe he'll use one of those French wingsuits.
Mhm.
He's got, like, super soakers full of holy water, and he goes commando pope, you know. Call in the nuns, just
Mhm.
big-ass firefight. in
Rambo,
Buena
First Blood of Christ.
Rambo, the altar wine drips.
Rambo 3.
Ooh, I'm chilled
I've
down,
never
my,
seen
down my
Rambo.
spine.
You ever seen the I think it's a graphic novel. It's called The Bible 2. And
Uh-uh.
the tagline is, "This time, Jesus isn't crucifying around."
I have
Yeah,
not.
It's perfect. Yeah, it's worth a look.
I love it.
But yeah, that's the exercise the entire city.
Did he just use one of those helicopters that they use for like fighting forest fires?
I don't think he's done it yet.
Oh, so
I think
it's a plan in development.
It's still in production. I think you still got to get approval from the Pope and
Uh-huh.
Big Man himself, all that. Yeah, Francis Frank hasn't approved yet.
Pope Schmope.
Yeah, what if God says no?
What if you wanted to exercise your whole city? You know, Michelle Obama exercised the whole city and the whole country. Was there like a survey conducted before this that is like, oh, the results indicate that this whole city needs to be saved?
Yeah.
Do you want the honest answer? Or do you want the
Oh,
joking
he searched.
answer?
He looked at everyone's search history. It was like, okay, I'm
Yeah,
judging all
no.
these people.
Apparently, like a 10-year-old girl was killed, and he was like,
Oh.
yeah. And so now he's like, demons are in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one girl.
Exactly. You know?
Did the whole city kill the girl?
You know, I think it was like a community event.
Mm-hmm.
She was playing her music too loud. She was trying to sell Girl Scout cookies to everybody. It was annoying. Nobody could afford the cookies.
Yeah.
And so we just did the best thing for the community.
Stoning.
Stoning. Let he who has a thin wallet cast the first stone.
What was I gonna say?
Put her there.
I'm I'm trying to like.
Her being your story and there being the audio file.
I keep remembering that I could just edit out dead air, so that's like.
Nope.
I'm feeling more.
Nope.
Stop it. I'm gonna edit this out. I'm feeling more relaxed.
You never go along with the dead air bit. I think
Because it sucks.
What's the dead air bit?
Where he's just.
I go like this with my hands.
He keeps
Alright.
like and then it's
I make
supposed
the
to just be
Italian
dead air.
motion with my hands, and I want everybody to shut up.
This goes against everything radio taught me.
Well,
Just emotions. Dan would be very disappointed.
do you want to associate with the thing that killed the video star?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Wait.
Video
Other way
killed the
around.
Radio star.
Yeah.
That's why I'm getting into.
There are no radio
videos.
stars.
Oh, I mean,
What's
Ryan
his-
Seacrest
yeah,
started
yeah.
radio.
Ryan C.
Hey, I don't like him, but like that's the first thing he did.
I don't agree with
Howard
his methods.
Howard
How-
Stern.
Howard
Mm.
Stern.
Do you like
Howard
Howard
Stern.
Stern more than Ryan Seacrest?
Yeah, I like him more than Seacrest. but
Babooey.
Midnight Mike Edgerton is my favorite.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Why don't you go ahead and plug your show?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Midnight Mike Edgerton,
Oh,
also
that
known as Mike
voice.
from Com Class. You can hear me on Tuesdays and Thursdays at midnight on 90.5 WASU.
Oh.
FM.
And what time can they find you, Midnight Mike?
3 a.m. The witching hour.
Oh boy, 3 a.m.
Midnight.
Oh boy, 3 a.m.
Midnight Mike time.
So with the helicopter and the water, there's like some urban legend where sometimes when the helicopter goes to pick up water, it like scoops up a scuba diver as well, and then it drops the scuba diver like in the fire. Oh,
It's the holy bomb.
yeah. That reminds me. I was a Boy Scout. I guess once a scout, always a scout.
That's a
And
lie.
if you, what?
Huh?
Were you a Boy Scout?
No,
Oh, okay.
Look, well, I don't think you're qualified to say that.
that's fair.
It's-
We'd like you-
It's fair.
As a
Those
group,
three
we'd like you to
fingers.
take it back.
Yeah.
Pardon?
We'd like you to take it back.
On behalf of the scout organization that I represent.
Unfortunately, I cannot take back what has been said, but I can continue to dig the hole deeper.
Oh no, we're already. In
I don't
the
think
basement.
anyone should be a Boy Scout.
But yeah, when you're a Boy Scout, sometimes you go to the desert and in New Mexico.
No, you don't.
No,
you don't.
Yes, and there's a scout ranch in New Mexico called Philmont.
Oh, my
And-
roommate went there.
Yeah, and you go backpacking for 2 weeks, and I did it. It was amazing. But we did like this conservation project with this guy named John, and he was stoned out of his mind. And he was telling
Like
us
that girl in Buena Vista.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's
Stoned out of her mind.
Oh no.
That's how I plan to go
Well,
out.
her mind was stoned out of her.
Ah, good
Either
one.
way, end results the same.
Get it? Because the child was killed. Continue.
Anywho,
And
There-
this was a sociopath podcast.
so
Not.
so John was teaching us about the tools we were gonna use, and one of them was like, it had a long wooden handle, and it had a hoe on one side and a rake on the other. Like it was like a T looking thing, but the different branches. You could probably imagine
Yeah.
it.
Why do you use prostitutes for farming?
Stop it. It's
Sorry.
it's to boost morale.
Oh, yeah.
And so he was talking about like, this is a McLeod, and we said, what is okay? And then we started working. He's like, well, since y'all asked why he got his name, which we didn't,
Mhm.
he started to tell us the story of this guy named John McLeod, and I think I'm not sure if this story's true, but allegedly he was one of those dudes that would jump out of a helicopter into forest fires and fight them from the inside. And one day he goes to work because his wife gets on the helicopter.
Pulaski.
What?
A Pulaski.
What?
I don't know what that is.
It's what you're talking about.
A Pulaski.
Someone who goes into a fire to fight it from the inside like a shark?
No. Pulaski. What?
I said no slurs.
Like in Sharknado, when he gets swallowed by the shark and then chainsaws
Oh,
him.
yeah.
The
I
fire
think
is
you
too
mean like
thick
in
to be
Men in
penetrated from
Black.
the outside.
They did it first.
Huh?
Men in Black
Tommy
did?
Lee Jones jumped into the
The worm.
big cockroach. No, the worm is SpongeBob.
Yeah.
No, there was like an Alaskan bullworm thing in Men in Black 2. In the subway at the very beginning of the movie.
Oh, you're
thrown
thinking
out
of SpongeBob.
movies.
No.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
You said
Ugh.
Alaskan bullworm.
I will prove
I'm
this.
sorry.
I will prove.
I'm sorry.
There
But
were-
you're McLeod.
There was no such thing as an Alaskan bullworm before SpongeBob.
No. Okay.
Was
I will
there?
prove you
I'm
wrong
gonna
after
stop
this.
McLeoding your Pulaski and let you go.
Or is
I'm
that
so
real and
sorry.
did I just attribute an entire species to SpongeBob? I'm going to find out if Alaskan bullworms are real.
They're not.
So anywho, John McLeod gets his wife goes to work, and he gets in the helicopter, and he's got a rake in one hand and a hoe in the other hand, and he's like, all right, here I go, and he jumps out of the helicopter. But since his hands were full, couldn't pull the chute, and he died. But when he died, the
His hands were full.
And so when he died, the tools fused together, and his friends came and were like, yo, we're calling this McCloud. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. And then we got to work.
How important?
Important?
Wait,
What are you,
where-
Bugs
was
Bunny?
this a labor camp?
How important?
We were making a bike trail. So
Yeah, it was
yes.
a labor camp.
How much do you have to love the things you're holding to die instead of dropping one of them?
Do you want?
What's
Never
something?
mind.
What's something that you would rather hold on to than live?
I can think
Memories.
of a few people.
They're gonna die when they hit the ground anyway. You,
For the
an
experience.
object
Yeah.
that would not
An
be
object.
that would not be damaged when it hits the ground.
Was your little Franz dude holding on to anything?
What?
Or was it just the fact that his little suit got wrapped
He
up
was
around
holding
him?
on to his dignity until he got wrapped in his own invention and plummeted to the ground and died immediately.
But he did make a 4-inch indention, which I'd say that's... They should have just buried him there. That's pretty far.
Well, the invention is still there.
Really? To
Is it?
this
No,
day?
it's not. I tricked you
God
again.
dang it.
That's
I want...
a Jack moment.
I want, like, when did this happen? Your story.
19. Well, actually, he got reprinted in the 1940s. Like a picture of him got reprinted next to a picture of Stalin. And people freaked out. But I think it was like 1920s.
I wanted you to say, like, at the end of
Huh?
your story, like, to this day, if you go to the Eiffel Tower, there is an indention of a man-shaped dent in the ground right in front of the tower.
But yeah, there was some like newspaper ad, and it was some guy on the left, and then Stalin, and then him like in his suit. I don't remember the context. But there was something.
Alright.
Stalin
Wait,
supported
I'm gonna-
the flying man.
Ooh.
Oh, just some.
No, he would have been
communist
like
propaganda.
15.
When he died?
Stalin? How old was Stalin during the war?
Oh,
Uh,
old.
Ooh,
Really old?
During which war?
He died in 58.
the
of
big
a
one.
The
Stroke.
big one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Great guy.
I thought when Hitler killed himself, he shot through his own head into Stalin's head.
You're thinking of Mussolini,
Oh, who
Yeah.
shot?
who shot.
They
through
shot
his
at the same
foot.
time, and it went through
Yeah.
each other's heads and met in the middle.
Yes, and then that bullet formed a super bullet, sometimes referred to by the commission, by the Warren Commission, who investigated JFK's assassination, as the magic
So
bullet.
liars.
The magic bullet then killed Joseph Stalin and went straight in the JFK's head.
The shot.
That's why they all died within the same second.
Yes.
That's the shot went round the world.
It
That
did go
is,
around the world.
yes.
It was fired during the revolution.
This bullet is commonly referred to as Satan. They tried to get rid of it in Buena Vista, but this bullet just keeps on going around. And
they're
it can't be
they're trying to
stopped.
stop it with water.
It can't be stopped. It's gonna get us all.
Okay.
Well, if you're standing in its path, just, God help you.
You have been warned.
Bullets make too much of a funny sound. Zip. That's the sound of a bullet. Ever heard a bullet approach you?
No.
Not recently.
Well, anyway, thank you, Mike, for sharing your story. Wow.
That must have been really hard.
It took a lot of effort. It
Yeah.
was very emotional.
Well, I guess I'll go last. So.
Well, you have to go last. You're the only one left.
They don't know that. They don't know how many
I can
people
call
are in here.
Sterling if you want.
And have him like just give a topic. How are you gonna call him?
Not right now. You do your thing. I'll try to get him scheduled.
Yeah, Sterling is on his way to a wedding in Maryland as we speak.
He didn't tell us he was gonna be here, and then drop out. So we had to get this guy.
Yeah.
I found this schmuck, Mike from comm class.
I
found him
around the library until somebody offers me a podcast.
This is my 6th one today.
Yeah, you know, it's like being homeless, but a little bit worse.
See,
and
I
you
just-
smoke more cigarettes.
I just stay in the audio recording room. When it gets dark, I rip off some of the foam padding and use it as a mattress.
I thought you were gonna say you eat it.
No, we did that in the last episode.
Oh.
We don't repeat jokes on here. This is
16. Remember when I started counting 2 episodes ago?
I do remember that. So, anywho, I'm gonna get to my topic now and just end this nightmare of a bit. My topic is experimental weapons, and they are some fun. Gentlemen, have you ever heard of a bat bomb?
Is that like the suicide vest you put on the bat and then
Ooh.
No.
Yeah, it
You
is. Talk
sound like
about
a
that.
Minecraft zombie. No, a bat bomb is a bat that you put in your bathtub, and it just, that was a hee-haw joke. Anywho, a bat bomb is an experimental World War II weapon, and it was developed by the United States of all people. And now...
The United States of all people.
Of all people.
So, the bat bomb, the design was a bomb-shaped casing, and each bomb-shaped casing had more than 1,000 compartments. And in each compartment, there would be a hibernating Mexican free-tailed bat.
Uh-huh.
I'm
One-
sorry, why?
Yeah, well, I'll get to that.
Wait, it
And-
was hibernating?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, 1,000 compartments in the bomb, and each compartment has a bat. And attached to each bat is a small timed incendiary bomb.
It's called a bat bomb. It's not hard to guess.
Well,
You know,
it's a
let
bomb.
me have this one.
It's a bomb that has bats in it, which
Uh-huh.
each have bombs. So it's
Wait,
like
does the outer bomb explode?
no,
Or
it
explodes
the outer
in-
bomb is
it
just
explodes
like
in bats?
It's like a frag grenade with bats.
it just
With
yeah.
shrap-
Okay, so the idea is that the bomb would be well an incendiary bomb. Let me rewind. An incendiary bomb isn't really designed to explode, more or less like and to just start a fire. So the idea is that like the bomb would be dropped from a plane very early in the morning, and a parachute would open during the bomb's descent. The compartments would also open, releasing the bats. The bats would disperse, and they would roost. Roost, is that the word?
Ah.
They would roost in like houses and attics and such, and then later the fires would start all over a town, and then like, but
It's not the worst plan I've ever heard.
No, it's kind of smart.
Yeah.
yeah, man, the incendiary bombs would go off, and they would ignite the mostly wood and paper Japanese houses.
Okay.
Could
Yeah.
we do that with like geckos?
Well,
Like release geckos into a population with a small incendiary device?
I guess.
why geckos?
Well, because they're small, they're
We're gonna
fast.
sell that insurance.
When
damn
was
it.
when was the last time you were able to catch a gecko? Don't ask when you last tried. I haven't tried myself. That's why I'm asking you. But were you able to?
I have State Farm.
Oh.
Now just listen.
Yes.
Consider this. Bats. But they have watery grenades filled with holy water so we can cleanse the city without using the helicopter.
We don't even need the helicopter. The bats will save Buena Vista.
Yeah. You know what they call bats? Nature's helicopters.
Big facts. I remember hearing that in my biology class.
Thank you.
Bats are nature's exorcists. So, who came up with this? You know?
Bats?
Who came
God.
up- No,
Dwight D. Eisenhower.
you're very close. It's a dental surgeon. From,
Dwight E. Eisenhower.
no, it was a dental surgeon from Irwin, Pennsylvania, and his name is Lytle S. Adams.
Little S. Adams?
Lytle, it's spelled Lytle. It might be little.
It sounds like someone trying to explain their Wi-Fi password.
Sounds
Little
very
S. Adams? It's like
German.
all caps Adams with a lowercase s.
Oh. The Wi-Fi created the bomb.
Ooh.
That's true.
Shit, Mikey.
Terminator
So,
17.
how many Terminator movies are they gonna make?
Well, there's one coming out in theaters now.
Yeah, go see it. We're not being paid for this, but
Nope.
don't see it.
We're being paid by every movie except the Terminator franchise.
Yeah,
Please
fuck
do
that.
not see Terminator.
So Adams was a friend of First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt, and he was inspired to create the bat bomb after a trip to Carlsbad Caverns National Park, where he saw many bats. And after the attack on Pearl Harbor, he wrote a letter to the White House stating that bats are the, quote, lowest form of animal life,
Oh.
He
Yeah,
got pooped on by a bat.
and that, quote, the reasons for its creation have remained unexplained.
God, no, you gotta come back and answer for this. Why'd you make this?
Until now.
Mhm.
Now they have a purpose. According to Adams, bats were, quote, created by God to await this hour, to play their part in the scheme of free human existence, and to frustrate any attempt of those who dare desecrate our way of life.
So he thinks God made bats and then told them to wait until they can have bombs on them.
Okay, hold.
They'll get there.
See, the great fallacy is that the bald eagle is the true American symbol. God intended the bat to be the American symbol. Batman was just prepping us.
But not one bat. Like a group of 50
Yeah.
bats would be the national animal.
Yeah.
I think 1,000 bats in each with their own little compartment
Mhm.
and a firebomb.
Ooh, the American flag,
Uh-huh.
but bats instead of stars, and
And-
bats instead of stripes, and bats everywhere.
Do the bats form like a giant picture of Ronald Reagan or George Washington?
I think they just filled the head of Ronald Reagan.
Oh,
He had a head full
Ooh.
of bats.
What about Nancy?
Is
What
that
does
a
she have in
stain?
her head?
A brain. That's simple anatomy, dumbass.
Oh, I'm sorry. I never passed.
Behind every strong man is a woman with a series of marionette strings.
I didn't know you were describing my last relationship.
Ayo.
He was unconscious. It was an intricate system of pulleys.
I was actually being abducted by aliens frequently. Yes.
Okay, we're not
Well,
gonna get
back
into
to your
it. No
last
one cares about
relationship.
that.
How's Sarah Jones doing?
Sarah-
Who lives at 173 Marigold Lane?
Yeah, for a minute I was really worried 'cause I was like, I know Sarah Jones.
Oh no. Well, now people know you know Sarah Jones.
Who lives at 173 Marigold Lane?
Sarah Jones was just the most generic name I could think of. Sorry, Sarah.
Yeah. So, how is Jane Doe?
Let the record show nobody laughed.
Yeah. I think there was no record to show. They just could listen.
Well, we know you edit out all the parts where nobody laughs.
Exactly. Anywho,
Our last podcast ended up being 2 minutes long.
Let the record know that I laugh internally, constantly.
well, please show it.
No.
Constantly?
Constantly.
He's just like.
It's yeah. It's
So,
like I'm seizing out all the time.
so back to the bat letter. So Roosevelt gets this bat letter that's like they are created by God to free human existence,
Mhm.
and he said, "This man is not a nut. It sounds like a perfectly wild idea, but it's worth looking into." So there were workers assembled for the project,
Mhm.
including mammalogists, I guess that's how you pronounce it.
I thought you were saying their name. They were a mammologist, and their name was mammologist.
So I guess
It's like I was born for this.
I guess I'm-
Lastly,
including mammologist Jack von Blocher. Von Blocher, who claimed to be a bat lover, stated that he never thought to question the morality or the ecological consequences of sacrificing a few million bats.
I love bats. I'm gonna kill like 10% of them.
should
I see
eat
nothing
more
wrong with that.
So they tested various bat species, I'm not sure how, and they finally arrived at the conclusion that the Mexican free-tailed bat was the best option. During one of the tests, a bunch of the bats were accidentally released, and they roosted under a fuel tank, and they blew up the facility. So the program was eventually canceled because the development was moving too slowly.
Because the facility was gone.
Well, they just moved to another place because they had to weaponize them bats, dude.
Mhm.
So, and the program was eventually canceled because it was moving too slowly. Up until its cancellation, they had spent $2 million on this. But that's 1945, $2 million. Today, that is nearly 19 million.
Nice, worth it.
So eventually, the atomic bomb overtook it, and it was far more destructive.
In the
as you
power
may well know.
rankings, up until 1945, a lot of bats was at the top, and then the nuke came out.
A bunch of exploding mammal boys. But think about it. If they didn't go with the atom bomb and instead use the bat bomb, do you think the war would have ended or not? Because Japan was
100%.
rather stubborn.
If some person came after
They
me,
could be a mother. We don't know.
Yes, if someone's mother sent a million flaming bats at me, I think I'd be like, all right, you win.
You win.
can have
Okay,
everything."
please
Yeah.
stop.
You're crazy. You win.
All right. So my next weapon, I'm gonna do 2 more.
Okay.
I had 4, but I think we're getting close to the end of the running time. Yeah. So the next weapon
I'm
is
patting my wrist.
it's
Continue.
called the next weapon is called Who Me? And it was another American weapon, but this was a non-lethal chemical weapon, and it was developed by the Office of Strategic Services. Now it was to be used by the French resistance against occupying German officers. It was a sulfurous spray that smelled like fecal matter, and it was stored in a little sprayer that could be very discreetly sprayed on a German officer,
Okay.
therefore humiliating him and thereby demoralizing the occupying German forces. However, the spray was so strong that sometimes the sprayer would smell just as bad as the sprayee, and the project was deemed a failure.
It's weird how far along these projects get before someone decides it's a failure. Like someone was really into that idea. No, it had to be like 20 people who are really into that idea. We're gonna humiliate them by making them smell like poop.
Also, it's war. Everyone smells awful.
Yeah.
Like, this one dude smells like shit. Oh, no. His entire force is demoralized.
It was so long ago they didn't even have new spice yet.
What kind of wars y'all fighting in? I smelled great.
What war were you in?
Fantastic. You damn well know what war I was in, Jack.
Don't bring it up.
War. If I mess up on the first,
with a 1,000-yard stare.
if I messed up on the first word of a sentence, I can't keep going. It's too hard.
So my last weapon, I think you guys are gonna like the name. It was called the Gay Bomb.
Alex Jones made it?
So
No, the frogs were turning gay.
He was somewhat
It's
right
true.
about that. There,
It's
credit
not
where
a.
credit is due.
I know he just made it up, but it was true.
Yeah, wasn't it something that, like, it messed with,
Was it
some-
pheromones or something?
I think it was like
Yeah.
hormones or pheromones
Yeah.
or something.
One of the moans.
Yeah.
So the Gay Bomb was also thought up during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Just kidding. It was 1994.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that it's 1994, you know.
Oh, that's my area of expertise. Chemical weapons of the 90s.
I mean, when you say gay bomb, you say 90s, I think, oh, yeah.
The explosion of boy bands.
Yeah. No, they're trying to kill gay people. Yeah, all right.
How'd they do it?
Well, I'll tell you. The Department of Defense was looking at non-lethal chemical weapons that could mess with enemy morale. So researchers at the Wright Laboratory, WRIGHT, not like the correct one,
Yeah.
because this was very wrong. So researchers at the Wright Laboratory in Ohio, they wrote a 3-page proposal for a $7.5 million quote-unquote gay bomb. And this was a weapon that, quote, contained a chemical that would cause enemy soldiers to become gay and have their units break down because all their soldiers became irresistibly attractive to one another. And the chemical referred to was like female sex pheromones.
Mm-hmm.
There are virtually no studies to back up this idea
Mm-hmm.
that this would even work, and it never got past the theoretical stage. However, it did win Wright Laboratories like the IG Nobel Prize, which is like the Nobel Prize equivalent of a golden raspberry.
Nice.
It did spark other like unusual ideas for chemical warfare, such as a bomb that attracted angry bees, a bomb that made people sweat, and a bomb that caused extremely bad breath.
I think most bombs make people sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, was this general as far as the gay bomb? Was he just like looking at pictures of German soldiers or whatever and be like, if I was gay, wow, if we turned them gay.
I don't know what I'd sparked the idea of the brain baby of its brainchild.
The brainfant.
I'm sticking with my guns. I'm going brain baby. I don't know what sparked. I don't know what conceived the brain baby of. Let's make them gay, because then they'll be gay,
Yeah.
and then we can get past them because they're being gay with each other. This sounds like something that a 12-year-old would come up with.
Sounds like the plot to a really bad porno. Really bad
Like a
porno.
dystopian future where the world got nuked by a gay bomb.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd be something China would do. Like we have, like when they're trying to cut down on the population, we'll just turn them all gay.
Wow. So that
That's
was
the
my
child
weapons.
tax.
That's the child
If you have
tax?
2 kids, you have to be gay.
Hell of an incentive.
Yeah.
You just get a letter. It's like, you are gay.
But also, you can't be gay unless you have 2 kids.
According to the government, you are now a homosexual.
New
You
law.
have no choice.
New law.
Oh wait, I forgot to call Sterling.
Oh yeah. So, did either of you go to Area 51 today? As it is September 20th.
Oh shit, it's September 20th.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Some people showed up.
Did
Like-
they?
Yeah.
75.
Not to raid, but they were just like,
There.
look
Yes,
over there.
There was some kid who ran past,
Wait.
like he ran behind a newscaster doing the Naruto run.
Oh, God.
It was on Twitter. I love it.
All right, we're gonna get Sterling on
We're
the
gonna
horn.
get Sterling on the horn.
Yeah.
I was really hoping for like a revolution.
Hey,
Hello.
Sterling, you're on the horn. with Midnight Mike.
Hello, Sterling. You know my roommate, as it so happens.
Hey, you said Midnight Mike?
Yeah.
Your replacement.
Midnight Mike. No. Oh, jeez.
He's reliable.
I love you, Sterling.
His dad has no friends.
That's true.
His dad could beat up your dad.
Well, only in like a zombie.
Sterling is at a wedding for his dad's friend, by the way, for context.
All right. What do you have to say?
Wait. I have to say that although we were supposed to leave at 4 o'clock, we're just now leaving.
It is 7:20.
I hate hearing complain.
Yeah, when he gets back, he is not allowed to bitch about this at all.
Mm-mm.
He could have just not gone.
I support Sterling. My roommate says he's
No,
a very
don't.
nice
Get out.
guy.
This encourages his
My
bad.
roommate Jiggles says he's a very nice guy.
He keeps telling me about his roommate Jiggles in comm class, and it's always
Yeah.
one of the best parts of my
I mean,
day.
we met a guy named Ragnar like a week ago.
Oh yeah.
Ragnar.
Oh,
Ragnar.
and I met Tipsy Tommy, who's gonna rule this school one day, and
Oh.
I've never seen him again.
I
We
met,
got some characters here in town.
I met this guy because of the story I'm going to tell. I'm not going to say his name. I don't know his last name anyways, but I was talking to him. I just met him in my econ class. He starts telling me about his alcoholic dad. I've been knowing him for like 10 minutes. He's like, yeah, he's a dentist too. I was like, I really hope he's not my dentist.
Some people share stuff with people that they just met. Like the first day of school last year, I'm not gonna name any names.
Mm-mm.
We were reading the Laramie Project, you know, the book about
Yeah.
like the hate crime against the homosexual guy in Wyoming.
I was
And
gonna say it. Not good.
not good, not a
You're
good.
kind of a boring play.
Whoa, no, like the event was not good.
situation.
Oh yeah, it was a terrible event. but it
Midnight
was-
Also,
Mike
the play was kind
supports
of a bore.
gay murder.
It's up next on
I s-
news. We're in it for the Money News Network. Midnight Mike,
But
an
yeah.
anti-Semite.
I think we all agreed the play was kind of boring.
but-
yeah, it was terribly written.
We had a discussion about it, and afterwards, this kid comes up to me. I don't even know his name. This is the first day we'd met. And he goes, "Can I talk to you for a second?" And I said, "Sure." And he pulls me into a corner. He's like, "I could kind of relate to this story." And I go, "Oh, how?" And he goes, "I was abused as a child, and I was hurt."
Mhm.
And he just kept going on and on. And I go like, "Oh, hi, I'm Joe, by the way."
That's what you just got to shut that down. I know it sounds cold. Someone starts telling you about that stuff, you shut that down.
Well, that's what happened in Laramie.
Oh.
Once again, Midnight Mike equals bigot. All right, let's wrap this up.
Yeah, his name's like, what is it, an anagram for
It
just
is.
hateful bastard?
My
Midnight
name is an
Mike.
anagram for Adolf.
Well, anyway, thank you for listening to episode 4 of We're In It For The Money. Mike, you want to give us an outro with them golden pipes of yours?
Yes, please give them money. They need the money.
Oh, this guy's a
Give them the fucking money.
Put it in the bag.
He can vouch for how poor we are.
All right, we'll see you next week, maybe.
Wait, don't turn it off.
Don't turn it off?
All right, we'll see you around in the podcast town.
Good night. Good night.
Good night and go to sleep.
Good night and go Thunderbirds.
Stop saying the Go Thunderbirds thing. It's making everyone uncomfortable.
What do you mean?
How do you stop?
That's my sign off.
Oh.